Well. Today's pretty interesting. We have a dispute between Trump and a Muslim family, and it's all in relation to his address this past week at the Republican National Convention, the RNC. And I'm going to read this article by CBS on the matter, and then I'm going to give my opinion on it, and I'll be done for today. um, After Khizr Khan gave a blistering denunciation of Trump at last week's Democratic National Convention, the week-long public spat between Khan, the Muslim father of a U.S. Army captain killed in the Iraq War, and the GOP nominee reached a boiling point today, um, July 31st, 2016. Khan, whose wife stood silently beside him last week on the Philadelphia stage as a photo of their slain son, Humayun, filled the screen behind them, I really hope I'm pronouncing his name right, told CNN in an interview that he believed Trump was a person totally incapable of empathy. I want his family to console him, teach him some empathy, he said. He is a black soul, and this is totally unfit for the leadership of this beautiful country. Khan responded directly to Trump, who last week questioned his wife Ghazala Khan's non-speaking role at the convention, and suggested it was because their Muslim faith prevented her from talking. It was none of that, Khan relayed to CNN. Instead, Khan said his wife told him, "You know my condition. When I see my son's picture, I cannot hold myself together." For this candidate for presidency to not be aware of the respect of a Golden Star mother standing there, and he had to take that shot at her, this is height of ignorance, Khan said. This is why I showed him the Constitution. Had he read that, he would know what status a Gold Star mother holds in this nation. This country holds such a person in the highest regard, and he has no knowledge, no awareness. Ghazala, for her part, has publicly spoken out twice about her son since the convention, appearing on MSNBC Friday night and then publishing an editorial in the Washington Post today. "I cannot walk into a room with pictures of Humayun," she wrote in the Post, "walking onto the convention stage with the huge picture of my son behind me. I could hardly control myself. Does Trump really need to wonder why I did not speak?" Over the weekend, Trump's campaign tried to minimize the fallout from their candidates' comments, blasting out press releases of Trump calling Captain Humayun Khan a hero. "Captain Humayun Khan was a hero to our country, and we should honor all who have made the ultimate sacrifice to keep our country safe. The real problem here are the radical Islamic terrorists who killed him, and the efforts of these radicals to enter our country to do us further harm," Trump said in a statement yesterday evening. "While I feel deeply for the loss of his son, Mr. Khan, who has never met me, has no right to stand in front of millions of people and claim I have never read the Constitution, which is false, and say many other inaccurate things." And on CBS's Face the Nation, Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort defended his candidate against the Khan's attacks. "Mr. Trump and all of us give him our sympathy and empathy for the loss of his son. I mean, that was a real tragedy," Manafort said Sunday. "The issue is not Mr. Khan and Donald Trump. The issue really is radical Islamic jihad and the risk to the American homeland. That's the issue." Khan gave a nod to Trump's statement in his Sunday morning CNN interview, saying, "I appreciate his response, his press release that was issued last night, confirming that he accepts my son as a hero of his country." But on Sunday, Trump took to Twitter for this last parting shot in the Khan feud. "Captain Khan, killed 12 years ago, was a hero, but this is about radical Islamic terror and the weakness of our leaders to eradicate it. I was viciously attacked by Mr. Khan at the Democratic convention. Am I not allowed to respond? Hillary voted for the Iraq war, not me." Republican leaders Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan, meanwhile, have defended the Khans in light of Trump's remarks, though neither openly criticized Trump by name. In a statement Sunday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called Captain Khan an American hero. "Like all Americans, I'm grateful for the sacrifices that selfless young men like Captain Khan have made in the war on terror," he said before weighing in on Trump's controversial Muslim ban. "I agree with the Khans and families across the country that a ban on all members of religion is simply contrary to American values." A spokesperson for House Speaker Paul Ryan told CBS News Saturday The speaker has made clear many times that he rejects this idea, and himself has talked about how Muslim Americans have made the ultimate sacrifice for this country, but there was no reference either to the Khans or to Trump. On Sunday, Ryan released a statement that was more pointed, but also did not mention the GOP nominee by name. As I have said on numerous occasions, a religious test for entering our country is not reflective of these fundamental values. I rejected, the statement read. Many Muslim Americans have served valiantly in our army, our military, and made the ultimate sacrifice. Captain Khan was one such brave example. His sacrifice and that of Khizr and Ghazala Khan should always be honored, period. Following Trump's rival, former Trump rival Ohio Governor John Kasich echoed that statement. There's only one way to talk about Gold Star parents, with honor and respect. Captain Khan is a hero. Together we should pray for his family. Senator Kelly Ayotte, Republican New Hampshire, was more direct. She criticized Trump by name. According to the Associated Press, Ayotte released a statement saying of the Khans that she was appalled that Donald Trump would disparage them and that Trump had the gall to compare his sacrifice to those of a Golden Star family. And New Hampshire Republican Party Chair Jennifer Horn, who has criticized Trump in the past, said in a statement that she was stunned by his lack of understanding for their sacrifice. She continued, there is no sacrifice comparable to giving your life in defense of others. She even suggests such things reprehensible and shows a total lack of understanding and compassion. So yeah, I know that was long and drawn out and took up probably what's going to be the majority of this video, but it's really interesting to see that even after all this, hogwash about, oh, the GOP is united and they're together and they're going to make a stand against Clinton and they're going to round up together and get in a whole group, that we still have this division within top members of the party and the nominee. Their stances are just so radically different. I applaud McConnell and Ryan for basically saying that Muslim ban was stupid, because I've been saying that for the last, I think 6, 7, 8 months. I think it was November when he first said that. Ever since then, I've been saying it was dumb. And I've had people try to defend it online and just everywhere else, mainly online, because it's just, it's something you can't say with a straight face. When you're writing it, it sounds all right. But again, it's about time someone else finally said that. And I even just, I'm aware Ryan has said it before. I'm not sure about McConnell, but he, at the very, I know people who don't like him. At the very least, you have to give him credit for staying consistent on that and saying that he's opposed to the idea. And it's something that really shouldn't. I don't know why anyone takes that seriously. Why anybody would even vote for someone who would exercise that policy. It just makes no sense. Now, you'll have liberals who will say this is disrespectful, and it is. It's very disturbing to me that you would compare whatever sacrifices you made, which is here and there, compared to losing your life, which we know Trump hasn't done. No one can claim otherwise, and say that you're on this level that's comparable to this man that is no longer with us. I'm aware he probably got his feelings hurt by what the father said about him, and I'm sure if the father never said anything, there would be no conflict whatsoever. But the fact remains, his way of responding to things has gotten him in more trouble than it has helped him. The whole bluntness and willing to speak the truth and say what's on your mind, that is cute for about maybe a month, and then it gets old. And it started getting old back in November, again, with the Muslim ban thing. That was on his mind. It was something he wanted to implement. It was something that a large number of people disagreed with, however. And you saw, just in these statements here that I've read, exactly why they disagree with it. Some of them are personally affected, like the Khan family, being Muslim, although they wouldn't be tested under his... I just want to make that clear. They're not entering the country, so they wouldn't have to worry about that. But people who have that same religion coming here, let me see what religion you are. And who's to say they even believe you? But back to the major story here. I've never heard of Jennifer Horn before. Heard of Ayotte, or Ayotte. Yeah, Ayotte. Several times prior to this. I was completely unaware that she was not a fan of Trump's. And at least on this issue, and on this, well, I mean, issues in the dispute. But it's a perfect example of everything that is wrong with his candidacy. And I know a lot of people that are saying, oh well, he'll still pull it out, he'll still pull it out. If he does, it certainly won't be because of anything he said about this family. And that's all I'm going to just even conclude, because I'm not going to argue anymore about positions. I've had, people come on here try to change my mind about him. It's not working. It's completely illogical to me to even suggest that you, as someone who is living, is going to equate the sacrifices you made to someone who sacrificed their life. That's not comparable. You still get to wake up every day. You still get to breathe every day. You still get to see those rich kids of yours. So I don't even want to hear it. But it's ridiculous, and I really, he is going to say something between, this is the end of July, the start of August, which begins tomorrow, and November 4th. Something is going to come out of his mouth about Clinton, about somebody else that's not a supporter of his, that will set this whole thing off and I think doom him, because there's too much stuff he's saying that's getting on people's nerves. And he even has that policy, all press is good press, not when they're talking about you in this manner. So I think that, this is what happens when you don't run a person who was held office before. I get that was part of his appeal, but the brand's getting old after a year, and now that we're heading into the general election, it certainly is about to expire, and that's how what I think will happen. And it could still go the other way. I don't know with the outcome already. I don't have some kind of crystal ball where I can see into the future. What I can tell you is based on experience of watching this stuff daily and looking at things. And you even got Kasich to come out, who just completely disappeared off the national scene after he lost in the primary. Been gone for the last almost 3 months, 2 months, rather. Well, going on 3. That was early May when he got out of that race, and early August is right around the corner. So again, you are able. His one successful thing is bringing people together, it seems, to talk bad about him or talk bad about each other. I'm just seeing so much divisiveness. And again, I'll make it clear, no Clinton supporter here. I'm not too big on her either. But this is certainly something that is going to aid her. And if he wants to stop it, he has to get with some new people. The people around him are enabling him to be unhinged. And when you let somebody be unhinged and they're not successful at it, which is what he's shown for the last year, I don't care if he won the primary or not. We're talking about winning the general election. It's not good. And I don't know who is making the decision to allow him to say whatever to anybody. Someone has to just take some tape and just put over his mouth if he's really going to doom himself like this. And again, someone might say, "Oh, why do you care so much? You don't even like him." It's not even that. I'm not big on him or Clinton. I'm so neutral right now. It's not even funny. The only thing she has over him is she's not proposing a Muslim ban. But everything else she's proposing isn't exactly really pretty to me either. So again, I have no personal investment in either one of them. I'm just stating my opinion. Just answering that question in advance. As if I'm trying to sabotage either one of them. I really am just stating how I feel. So yeah, he's dooming himself. He needs to get more management, have someone else come aboard, which is kind of ironic since he just fired Lewandowski. What was it, last month? So I don't know what at this point he's going to do other than fuel the fire that will inevitably lead to his defeat if he keeps speaking about people this way. So I'm not sure. But thank you for watching and have a good day.